There is a quote that actors use, which I believe is true. It has been true for me in my past as an actor, but it is still true for me today. The phrase is work begets work, meaning that actors seem to grow their success when they're acting. I'll elaborate the psychology of this phrase and how actors can adapt and cultivate this quote in their careers. It's all coming up right now on Casting Actors Cast.
Casting Actors Cast, what a show! With Jeffrey Dreisbach, we're ready to go. From agents to gigs, learn what you lack. Tune in every week, we're bringing you back.
We're going to kick off the show right after this. Well, hello and welcome to today's episode of Casting Actors Cast. I'm Jeffrey Dreisbach. This is the podcast for actors. Welcome. If this is your first time here, I'm delighted that you're here. We're all about talking to actors about the business of show. And today's episode is no different. We're going to talk about the phrase work begets work. It is definitely a profound statement in the world of acting. And if you adopt some of these principles, you'll find consistent action and engagement in one's craft can often lead to more opportunities and growing a career. But first, this is that moment of the podcast, these podcast videos, because we're also simulcasting on YouTube. This is a moment where I get to say thanks for tuning in. I invite you to check out the website, castingactorscast, all one word.com. There you're going to find a forum that says dive into the talent pool. Filling that out will get you some freebies, a book and a free video. There's also some promotional stuff about my new book, Jeff's Jots, the Actor's Career Playbook. I'm really proud of this book. It's really, I think, it's really useful, very much a practical application, much like the podcast that you're going to find. So I'm excited to share that with you. But going to the website, you'll also get a blog. The blog is called Jeff's Jots, and that's corresponding show notes to each of the episodes that you're going to find. We're up to 350 plus episodes of the podcast, so there's a lot in the archives that you can take a look at. I've been doing this for some time now, and I'm having a great time. I'm still growing strong. I'm going strong. I'm not growing that much anymore, but nevertheless, we're here and it's now. So I'd like to share with you a comprehensive exploration of the psychology behind this phrase and how actors can literally adapt and they can cultivate its principles so that it will foster success for you. I promise if you implement some of these suggestions I make today, I think you're going to find a definite change and an increase in the way you approach the work and the work itself. So let's take a look at the psychology behind the phrase work begets work. Well, first of all, you must understand that when you say work begets work, that's really referring to momentum and visibility. Psychological momentum is important to take a look at. Success and effort create momentum. And so that when actors are engaged in projects, they feel a sense of accomplishment and purpose, which boosts their motivation and confidence. You see, this positive energy often spills over into auditions, into their networking, and their approach to new opportunities. Increased visibility. Being active in the field keeps actors visible. Industry professionals, and I'm talking about casting directors, agents, and producers, are more likely to remember and consider actors who are actively working. Visibility fosters familiarity, which can lead to further opportunities. As a casting person, I know this to be true firsthand. I'll be taking a look or binging a series that's streaming on one of the platforms, for example. Oh, and I see an actor and go, gosh, you know what? I know that actor. And because I'm seeing their work and it's already on a streaming service, there is this must make sense. There's a stronger likelihood that I might think of that actor for future projects that I might be casting. It just makes sense. That's how come work begets work. Also, that phrase is really helpful when in terms of skill development and mastery of your craft. Regular work sharpens an actor's skills. It keeps their abilities fine-tuned and builds experience. This growth makes them more competitive and prepared for a variety of roles. Now, psychologically, consistent practice reinforces neural pathways related to the craft, making acting more intuitive and confident over time. So, this approach will definitely increase your ability to feel stronger about who you are in the business. So, it's not only the craft itself, but it's also the business side of things. And that relates to the next point, which is attraction and networking. Now, if you know me for any length of time, you know I don't like to get too woo-wooey here, but attraction and networking, the law of attraction, if you're not familiar with what that is, please do yourself a favor and look it up. The law of attraction plays a role in this work begets work scenario. You see, people gravitate towards individuals who exude passion and who show dedication, so that when actors are actively working, they project an aura of reliability and capability, which of course draws more opportunities. That just makes sense. And then, of course, networking, because networking thrives on active participation. Meeting collaborators on sets or projects often leads to referrals and word of mouth recommendations. Another, I think, important value of work begetting work is it really does help overcome fear and it helps overcome procrastination. The act of working helps dispel fear and self-doubt. You know this already. You might be facing rejection and uncertainty as an actor, but staying active shifts the focus from worrying about outcomes to investing in the process. Okay, somebody write that down. That was really good. And of course, we can spend a lot of time talking about procrastination, but that also oftentimes, in my view, that stems from perfectionism or fear of failure. Consistent work combats this by normalizing action over overthinking. Now let's take a look at adapting and cultivating the phrase work begets work and see how we can incorporate it into our lives. One, create opportunities if none exist. You know, I've said this before, but it's true. Actors can produce their own work. They can write their own short films or TV series or a play or online content. I've found that this approach keeps actors engaged and showcases their talent to new audiences all the time. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be the most incredible thing you've ever seen or done. But just putting yourself out there is enough to garner, ooh, good word, some additional attention in your world. I also think collaborating with other artists to create meaningful projects helps build a network and it demonstrates initiative. I also think it's valuable to stay involved in the industry. You do that by taking classes, attending workshops, and participating in readings or table work. That keeps actors connected to their craft and their community. Volunteering or working on small projects, even if, don't hate me for this, even if unpaid, honestly, it can lead to future opportunities and growth. The other thing I think, which is something that we have to discuss, is how to adopt a growth mindset. The growth mindset is one of those things that we can talk ourselves into or out of. So why not talk ourselves into growing? How do you do that? Embrace every project as a learning opportunity. Even small roles contribute to experience, resilience, and professional growth. Now, when those setbacks occur, and you know what, they're going to, view setbacks as part of the journey rather than insurmountable barriers. Consistency and effort will definitely lead to breakthroughs. Don't forget to maintain professional relationships also. Building genuine relationships with industry professionals ensures that when opportunities arise, actors are considered for roles. And then, I think it's important to follow up with gratitude and professionalism after auditions or projects to simply leave a lasting impression on those people that you've been in contact with. Another way to do that is to focus on process, not outcomes. Shifting focus from landing the perfect role to refining the craft, that helps keep you grounded and will reduce anxiety multiple times over. I also think enjoying the process helps sustain long-term passion and dedication. Being passionate and dedicated, there's nothing better to be a driving influence on others to experience, but also most importantly for you to experience for yourself. So you could, for example, consider leveraging current work for future opportunities. So each project, use that as a platform to market skills. Behind the scenes content, networking at industry events, and sharing work on social media can amplify visibility. Seek feedback and stay open to constructive criticism, to simply have a desire to continuously improve. Now, we're going to talk about some practical applications for actors right after this. Are you wishing for acting success? Are you ready with audition techniques for theater, film, and television? Are you ready with proven methods for growing your talent? Are you ready to boost your business? It would help if you had a playbook to guide you. Now, there's Jeff's Jots, the Actor's Career Playbook by Jeffrey Dreisbach. Jeff's Jots at Amazon.com, CastingActorsCast.com, available in paperback, hardcover, or ebook. Stop wishing and start doing with Jeff's Jots, the Actor's Career Playbook. Welcome back. This episode, Work Begets Work. I hope you've found this to be useful so far. If you have, please give me a like or a share or a thumbs up. And now I want to jump into practical applications that actors can actually do. Some actionable steps that you can do to help implement this philosophy of work begetting work. One, daily action. Daily action. Dedicate time each day to advancing the craft, whether it's through practice, whether it's networking, or marketing oneself. I know that I've said this many, many times, but as a young actor, I made a commitment to myself. I said, I'm going to do 3 things a day toward my career. Just 3 things. And if I do 3 things toward my acting career a day, I will be a winner. Now, those 3 things didn't mean, call my agent. That wasn't one of the 3 things. The 3 things were for me. So, for example, I would go to the New York Public Library and watch a Broadway show. There's an archive of all of the Broadway shows going back 20, 30 years. So you can literally watch a show on video at the New York Public Library Arts section. Amazing. Or you're going to go to the gym. You're going to work out. You're going to do something that not only helps you feel better, but look better. So those are the kinds of things that I'm talking about. If I could do those 3 things a day, that would make me a winner for the day. And that leads me to this next step, which is create a routine that incorporates those auditions, and that you can decide you're going to do some script analysis or you're going to work on your self-tapes. That is all such a great thing that can be incorporated into one of your three things. For example, I know a lot of actors have monologues in their back pocket, like I recommend. By the way, check out some past monologue episodes here of the podcast. You're going to find some useful tips, I think. Anyway, here's the thing. Have you done a self-tape with your monologue? If not, why not? Wouldn't that be great? Because not only could you set yourself up for the technical things that could benefit from that, but also you can watch you doing your work and ask yourself those questions that you can see taking place so that you can improve. For example, you can't just watch yourself on video and go, okay, I'm going to critique myself. Have a specific question in mind when you watch a playback. The more specific your question, the more specific your focus will be on your work. And that's a really great way. To simply watch you act is not going to be helpful to you, but watch you act for a specific accomplishment, for a specific goal. That becomes really useful. Also, let's talk now, shifting our gears. Speaking of shifting, mindset shifts. I think it's important and valuable to replace thoughts of waiting for the big break with creating my own momentum. Creating my own momentum. Celebrate small victories as milestones on the journey rather than waiting for a single defining moment to cast you into the spotlight. I think it's valuable to stay persistent. Consistency is key. Even when work isn't coming in, you can find ways to stay active in the field. You can write, you can perform, you can, participate in local or community theater. Trust that small steps compound over time to create larger opportunities. I know this to be true. In essence, work begets work is both a psychological principle and it's a practical strategy. It can remind you that movement, no matter how small, generates energy and generates opportunities. By embodying this mindset, actors can create a self-sustaining cycle of growth, visibility, and success. Let me know how you found this episode. If you have any questions, please do send me an email. It's castingactorscast@gmail.com. Once again, the website, castingactorscast.com. I'm Jeffrey Dreisbach. Thank you for joining me, and we'll see you next time.
It's been great having you in our talent pool today. Your support means the world to us, so please consider sharing, liking, and reviewing this episode wherever you jump in. I'm Megan Grace Martinez. Thanks.
From